Today on the LA Food Podcast. Merry Christmas, dear listener. I hope you and your family had a wonderful celebration full of good food and, well, really just good food. That's all I'm interested in. Speaking of great food, we've got an excellent episode for you today with two of my favorite restaurateurs in the city. It's Eric Bedrosian and Josh Hartley, the co-founders and co-owners of Budonoki in Virgil Village. If you listen to this podcast, you know just how much I love Budonoki. You know how much Father Saul loves Budonoki. In fact, just last week they were nominated for our LA Food Award for Chef's Kiss of the Year. And if that's not high praise, I don't know what is. This is a fantastic conversation. We met up at the restaurant to really discuss their journey from starting a pop-up in their college apartment at USC to then going off to respectively work at some of the best restaurant groups in the United States to then come back to Los Angeles and open what's been one of the hottest new restaurants to grace the scene in recent years. We talked the challenges of operating in 2025, what it was like to really pour themselves into a project that's deeply personal for them, and how it's felt to gain great critical reception from the likes of the LA Times, but also to be left off some of the major lists that happen from year to year. What I love about Eric and Josh is you can just tell that they're really good friends, and their camaraderie, their spirit of collaboration, it's contagious, and it's something that I hope we can all take into the new year with us. No news headlines or Chef's Kiss big miss this week. I decided to not Bob Cratchit, Father Saul, or Karen Palmer and give them the week off, so we'll be back to our regular programming next week. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy this conversation. Quick note, we recorded at the restaurant, so there's a little bit of background noise. I think 20 minutes in, you hear the soft serve machine go off, but it's only a couple minutes, and overall, I think the conversation holds up. A reminder that the LA Food Podcast is part of the Acquired Taste Media Network. Be sure to listen to our sister podcast, Taqueando with Bill Esparza. This week, Bill was joined by Cuernavaca's grill owner Naomi Mendoza, and they recapped their favorite meals of 2025. Also, please consider leaving us a rating or review. You know, if you're thinking about what to get us for Christmas, that's really all we want. Some folks left us ratings or reviews last week, and it really meant the world to us. So thank you to everyone who did, and if you haven't, please consider doing so. As always, I'm your host, Lucas Servodio, and without further ado, it's time to chow down. Today on the LA Food Podcast, we're talking to two people who have quietly and then very loudly built one of the most joyful, genre-bending restaurants in Los Angeles. You've probably heard the soundtrack before you even opened the door. You've probably seen the penguin mugs on Instagram. And if you've been lucky enough to snag a resi, you've definitely had that moment where the room fills with neon light, the smell of the grill hits you, and you think, okay, yeah, this is Budonoki. Eric Bedrosian and Josh Hartley are the front-of-house masterminds who started Budonoki as a roaming pop-up back in 2021. Is that right?
Yeah, sounds right.
Long before it became the wildly popular Virgil Village Izakaya it is now, they've both got deep restaurant pedigrees: Hillstone, Major Domo, Alinea, Helen's Wines. But the thing they've built here is uniquely theirs, a neighborhood Japanese-ish, Thai-ish, Vietnamese-ish izakaya that somehow feels both totally personal and totally LA. We're going to talk about how they met, how they built a team, how they turned a former coffee shop into a party restaurant with fine dining technique, and what it's like to be one of the most talked about restaurants in the city during one of the hardest years for hospitality. Eric, Josh, welcome to the LA Food Podcast.
Thanks so much, Luca.
Thanks for having me, and for our listeners, since this is primarily an audio medium, can you please describe where we're sitting?
Well, we're in what used to be a coffee shop. But yeah, we're at Budonoki. It's like a 50-seat coffee shop turned izakaya. We're on Virgil in Virgil Village, right on the corner of Virgil and Melrose.
It does not feel like a coffee shop, so congratulations to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We worked pretty hard for that to kind of be the goal.
For that to be the case, yeah. Question for you, icebreaker question for you. Let's say you have to move away from Los Angeles tomorrow, right? You have to move to like across the country. What is the last meal you're going out on in LA?
I mean, for me, moving away from LA, it's just got to be tacos. Like I feel like I'm just like going to the taco shop on the corner. I guess here's my number one answer with confidence: Taco Zone.
Ooh,
on
hell
Alvarado, yeah! The Vaughn's parking lot,
bro.
You get the tripa taco, you get it extra crispy.
I knew I was gonna like you, man.
Yeah.
I feel like Taco Zone is a spot that does not get enough love.
I honestly I don't know if we should have gave that one out, but yeah.
I think people know it.
Yeah.
It's open on Christmas.
It's
Because I've
always
had it
open
on Christmas.
That is, I want to hear that story at some point. Just like a bad meal, and you're like, I'm going to go to Taco Zone. I hear you. No, Taco Zone has been like, when we get back from the airport sometimes, literally we'll put in the Uber Taco Zone.
Yeah.
Especially late at night, because like,
Yeah.
what else are you getting at that point?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you had the Suadero there?
I stick to I feel like it's the salsas are like what makes it so good. I stick to the tripe there is really good.
Get the Suadero next time. It's my favorite. The tripe is amazing. Dude, that orange sauce.
Yeah.
That thing
it's
is
really
crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, how about you?
That's I'm kind of jealous that Josh had that answer.
I had to jump in front of him on that.
Yeah, you crushed it. You fucked him over, actually.
Yeah. For me, I guess it's kind of the same. My like comfort meal is a place on Sunset called Playita Mariscos, right across the street from what used to be All Day Baby. I think it's Heavy Handed now. Yeah, it's just like battered fish tacos, ceviche, like.
What's not to love?
Yeah, that's my comfort meal.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think both of you going tacos, Mexican food is the right choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I can't really think of one other thing that would be the correct choice. So congratulations to you. You win the podcast.
Okay, good.
So let's zoom out a little bit. I understand that neither of you are actually from Los Angeles. Josh, why don't we start from you? Where are you from, and how did the hospitality industry get its hooks into you?
Yeah, born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice.
My dad's side of the family, I feel like, is kind of where the hospitality bug comes from. They're all from Slidell, Louisiana, which is kind of across the lake from New Orleans.
Yeah.
So just growing up, food, restaurants, hospitality was, I don't know, it's just like you're eating a meal, you're talking about the next meal, like kind of one of those situations. Like food was just always something that we loved.
Favorite food growing up?
Oh, that's so tough. I mean, Thanksgiving was just the other week, so I feel like for me it's just like stuffing and then like sweet potato from Thanksgiving. That's my like go-to. That's like the most nostalgic meal for me. That's amazing. It's nostalgic for everybody, even if they didn't grow up having it. You know what I mean? It's one of those meals. It is nostalgia. It's comfort. Yeah, it's comfort. Eric, how about you? You're Canadian? Did I get that right?
Yeah. I moved to Canada when I was 8 years old. I was born in San Francisco.
Oh, no way.
Into kind of like an immigrant family of restaurateurs.
Yeah.
I grew up in a sandwich shop in San Francisco.
No way.
Yeah, it was. It's still there. It's called the Submarine Center.
Okay.
It's in the West Portal neighborhood of San Francisco, and yeah, we lived like above the sandwich shop for the first formative years of my life.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What's your like earliest sandwich memory? Is there a specific sandwich?
I mean, I'm still a sandwich guy. Like, I feel like I eat sandwiches more than anything.
Yeah, smart man.
So, yeah, I feel like for me, it's just like kind of an Italian like combo.
Yeah.
Red wine vinegar, oil, shredded lettuce, like capicola salami.
Yeah.
Like, I could eat that every day for the rest of my life.
What's your Italian sandwich of choice in LA?
In LA, the most recent one that really hit the spot for me was actually not necessarily an Italian sandwich place, but it's a place called Breadhead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on the west side. I don't get over to the west side that much, but when I do, I gotta go there.
Breadhead is amazing.
Super legit.
Yeah, some idiots are like, that focaccia, it's too crispy. We're like, that's not even a real critique of focaccia. It's amazing.
It's uniquely theirs.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
It's really good.
Yeah,
I like that Italian sandwich a lot.
I heard that they bake their bread like 2 or 3 times a day, like during service. It's like only ever a few hours old. Which is really cool, actually. Yeah. So if you're over there and you're like, I got stale bread. No, you didn't. You know? You just have bad taste. You just don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, so take me back. How did you two meet?
College. Yeah. We've known each other since 2011.
Yeah.
Wait, is that right?
Yeah.
Since 2011, so we're buddies from college. And that's kind of where I guess our hospitality like paths met, but also like hospitality careers kind of launched as well in college. Our senior year, we ran like a restaurant supper club out of our apartment. So, okay, you just dropped a lot of information. That's not normal? It's not normal to. No, I went to USC. I know I could barely cook
a meal for my homies, you know,
Sure,
like
yeah.
let alone run a supper club out of my apartment on Budlong, you know?
Yeah.
So first of all, when did you realize you both had this passion for hospitality?
I feel like it was like maybe junior year when, you know, you're at school and like maybe that's the year you get a car.
Yeah.
You know, to like drive to your internship or whatever you got going on. So I feel like that was it for me, and me and Josh just found a common ground on like going to restaurants in LA.
Yeah. Downtown or all over?
Mostly closer to downtown.
Yeah.
Even like around the perimeter of campus, just like random mom and pop spots. But I feel like for me, my core memory of like going to a restaurant in LA and like feeling really cool was when Bestia opened.
Oh, hell
like,
yeah.
Back then.
Yeah. That was because you guys graduated 2015, so
Yeah.
Bestia was like hot ass shit back
Yeah.
then.
That's like a core memory baked into me.
Yeah.
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 That's
I don't know if we
probably
went there
your-
together, but like
Yeah.
that's the first time I went to a
Yeah.
restaurant and I like felt something.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It made you feel something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Josh? You had a similar experience?
I remember coming out to visit USC. I'd never been here before, and coming out to visit, and we went to Animal in like 2010, 2011. And
Yeah.
Just being like,
Yeah.
similar
That's
moment,
good.
you're like, all right, this is like
Yeah.
something different a little
The
bit.
energy, the food. You're like, something is happening here.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to be
yeah.
a part of it. So, okay, who had the idea to start a supper club out of your apartment?
That was
I
Eric.
think, yeah, it was me. It wasn't an idea that came to me organically. Really, it was kind of out of necessity.
No way.
The thing that happened was we had a career fair at school, as they did every semester, and I stopped by the booth for Hillstone Restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And I was really excited. I talked to the recruiter. I went on a tour of one of the restaurants. They had a management training program that they hired, you know, students from all over the country for, and they recruited out of USC. So I applied, and the recruiter reached out to me and said, "Hey, like, I don't really see any kind of restaurant experience on your resume. Like, I don't know if you actually know if this is something you want to do. Like, maybe
Yeah.
you should go work at a restaurant for a semester and come back to me."
That's fair.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
So, but the problem was at the time, restaurants weren't just hiring anybody.
Yeah.
With someone with no restaurant experience on their resume, like I couldn't even get a job as a busser anywhere.
Right.
So I went to Josh and I was like, "Hey, what do you think about just opening a restaurant out of our apartment?" So it started small. We just host like dinner parties.
You realize you're fucking insane, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's
it was
crazy.
dumb. It was
That's-
like something only a naive like college student would do. For sure.
But there's a power in that, you know, like
Yeah.
not knowing how insane something is sometimes
Yeah.
is the only way you're ever going to do it. And Josh, you were just like, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, so talk me, like, who cooked? Like, what did you cook? Like, how did
Yeah.
you fund it? Like, what, like, you know?
Simultaneously, we were both really interested in cooking.
Yeah.
We enrolled in like a culinary, I guess, program.
Yeah.
Like a cooking school, if you will, in Culver City, the new school of cooking. Mm-hmm. And we would take classes in the evenings, like after our regular classes.
Yeah.
So we got like a mini degree, basically, in
That was like the basics of
that was
like
basics.
we probably
Knife
learned
skills.
knife skills,
Yeah,
like
knife
French
work.
mother sauces.
Yeah,
I think. I don't
some
remember.
decent techniques, enough to like host your friends and
Yeah.
kind of impress them.
Yeah,
with
you
what
just
got
made
going
everybody
on.
hollandaise. You're like, for dinner tonight, we're going to tasting menu of
Yeah.
mother sauces. Yeah. That's amazing. And it went over well?
It started
well.
off like, you know, pretty amateur, but I feel like by the end it was like a legit production. Like we were hosting like 80 people in one night, and like we had servers. You know, our friends would just be servers, and
80 people. So how many
Yeah.
turns?
That
Like
would be like 2 turns.
yeah,
So you had 40 people sitting at one time?
yeah,
Yeah, we had like this like really long. It kind of worked out. We didn't really think through floor plan or like it just like kind of worked out. Now that I
Yeah.
think about it, and we put the like can I cuss on this?
Of course.
You know the like shitty plastic folding tables.
Yeah.
That, I don't know what activities in college you might have used for these.
I'm
folding
not-
tables,
not
but
familiar,
We just
no.
put like 3 of them next to each other with like white tablecloths.
Yeah.
And we just like sat people on either side of that. I feel like we learned the power of like shitty lighting, and, like candles and like strong drinks.
Yeah.
Like fun music, which
turn
isn't
the
like
lights
that
up.
different from here, you know?
You're basically just running the same playbook here. Turn the lights off, get everybody drunk, and play loud music, and it's working.
You don't have to overthink some stuff.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. So, at what point during this entire like, you know, supper club era did you realize, like, okay, we're actually going to make this a career? You got into the program, I assume?
Yeah, I reapplied, and I did probably 5 interviews, and it's a stage and everything like that. And yeah, they hired me, and at the same time, I think Josh somehow got his foot in the door into Alinea.
How did you get your foot in the door in the Alinea restaurant group with the experience of just running a supper club? Is that right?
Persistence. I actually applied. So to be clear, I worked for the business team of the Alinea group. So there's obviously owners Nick and Chef Ackett's, and then there's kind of like they have a CFO, and had this like sort of like small but growing. I worked there for 5 years business team.
Wow.
And they, I recall, posted that they were hiring an intern my sophomore year of college.
Okay.
And I applied because it was just really cool. Like Alinea's hiring a business
in Chicago.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
And I applied along with like thousands of other applicants, and like didn't hear anything. And then my senior year, I still had the same email that I had applied to as a sophomore, and I just emailed them, and I was like, hey, like I applied and never heard back from you. Like, this is where I'm at. Like, I'm graduating. My background was more like business, kind of finance, mathematics, but we had like ran this supper club, and I emailed him for like my CFO, Steve Bernacki, and emailed him for like 5 months, and then finally he was like, cool, I guess you can like work as an intern here, like we pay you $12 an hour. Took a Monday in June to start, and like, yeah.
And then you were there for 5 years.
And then I worked there for 4.5 years, almost 5.
Wow. So you must have learned a ton in those years.
Learned a ton. It was the coolest first job possible ever.
And but you were learning the business side of the operation.
Learning the business side of the operation. So at the time there were Alinea, Next, Aviary. I joined at an awesome time. Royster was their restaurant was just about to open. Alinea was in the process of doing pop-ups. And then Talk, the restaurant software, was kind of in its infancy and being born. So, and then also we self-published the Aviary cocktail book. So I joined when there was like actually a need for like an intern to go do stuff. Now probably there's just like AI and ChatGPT to do all that stuff. But I was really fortunate.
Hey, AI will never be able to get coffee, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't you worry. And so in the meantime, you're doing your Hillstone management program, Eric, and you're doing it all over the country. Is that right? Or
yeah. They start you off at one location where you're training like pretty rigorously, going through 6 to 8 months of like every position in the restaurant, from like dishwasher to baker to prep cook, bartender, server. So I did that in Washington, D.C., and then they kind of like place you at a different restaurant where you become like a junior manager, and then you work your way up to bar manager, and then AGM, and so on and so forth. Right? So I did that for about 5 years, same amount of time as Josh. Yeah, I ended up living in like 8 different cities in those 5
way.
Years.
List them off.
DC, New York City, back to DC, then Long Island, Houston, Dallas, Denver, and then some little guest appearances in other places.
It's amazing. If you want to travel the country, work for Hillstone, it sounds like.
It's cool, I mean, it was definitely in my early 20s like the coolest job ever. No, it sounds like a dream. It's like being on tour or something, but you're like actually gaining valuable skills as opposed to just like in different markets. I think like having that perspective of operating a restaurant in different states with different laws and all this stuff, it really kind of shaped my perspective on things.
So how did you two end up back in Los Angeles?
I feel like we like talked about opening a restaurant together, and I was in Chicago, so I was like, oh, let's go Chicago, and Eric was like, let's open in DC, and so we like compromised on LA.
You met in the middle. Exactly.
Yeah.
The middle between Chicago and DC is actually like what, like Tennessee, maybe.
Yeah, Nashville.
Yeah,
could work,
yeah.
huh?
Right, yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Mom and Dad.
Sorry, Mom and Dad. He will not be back anytime soon. So you come back to LA. Why'd you pick LA? Just because it went so well the first time with the supper club?
I think it was just more. I feel like I pushed for LA a little bit. Like I have a lot of family here.
Yeah.
You know, my family's Armenian. There's a huge Armenian community here. All my extended family's here. So I knew I wanted to like end up back here, especially after being here for college.
We were like, what's the most difficult market in the city? to
No,
open a
yeah.
restaurant?
In hindsight, right? It's like the hardest place in probably the country to open a restaurant.
Yeah.
Also,
smart.
It's the biggest audience and
Yeah.
the biggest platform, and you can really make a big splash if you do something cool.
Yeah. No, it's high risk, high reward,
Yeah.
kind of, right? Yeah. So you end up back in LA with the goal of opening a restaurant. What year is this?
2019, yeah.
2019. So when did you how did the idea, because Budonoki was a pop-up before
Yeah.
it ever got here.
Yeah.
Like how did the ideation for the concept overall really begin?
I think it happened over the course of our entire like careers in restaurants, and to some degree, like even personally in my formative years growing up in Vancouver, where like izakayas are particularly abundant. Specifically, these types of izakayas in Canada, in Vancouver, that is such a multicultural city.
Yeah.
There's a lot of influence drawn from Western cuisine and Southeast Asian cuisine and all these izakayas as well. So I grew up going to places like Budonoki.
Yeah.
And when we were opening, we actually, Josh, Dan, and I, we went to Vancouver for a little over a week. And I took him around to all the places I grew up going to, and I was like, hey, this to me is what I want to feel as a diner, like in LA, when we go out to eat somewhere. And so we tried to recreate that a little bit here. So this place, not a lot of people might realize it draws pretty heavily on Vancouver.
That's sick.
Canada.
Oshi sushi.
Oshi sushi is something that's very press sushi is something that's pretty common at izakayas there. So that was kind of like the anchor, but honestly that's just like a small part of what we do now.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Chef Dan.
Yeah.
At what point does Dan enter the picture?
During COVID, we were introduced to Dan by a mutual friend who we didn't have like a chef, and we needed a chef partner to open this business with.
But you already had izakaya in mind.
We had the skeleton of the concept in mind. We had a business plan, and we had sort of this like kind of summary of what we wanted the restaurant to feel like.
Right.
But Dan was the one who colored it all in.
Yes.
So we were introduced by a mutual friend. We had like a Zoom interview with them because it was during COVID.
Nice.
So
it was like the when you
nobody was talking to each other in person.
Back in the day when you did I heard that dating during COVID, you had to like do the Tinder dates first before you actually met in person.
It was exactly like
you did that with
Tinder
Dan.
date with Dan.
And all these days later, it's still a Tinder date.
It was electric. It was electric. Room.
Was it an instant connection though, for real?
I feel like we just saw eye to eye with him on a lot of things,
Yeah.
and like Dan, we've worked a lot with a ton of characters and personalities in our past. Dan has no ego.
Yeah.
And I say this like it's the highest compliment. Like as a chef, he has zero ego. He is so down to like take feedback and take our silly opinions on stuff and visions, and like he does a great job of like turning what we kind of like vomit to him and bringing it to life in like his own way.
Dude, that's like a fucking unicorn of a chef, right?
Unicorn of a person, honestly. Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. So you start the pop-up era, and I think I first had you back when you were popping up at Melody, actually, in hindsight. So how did the pop-up era, why did you decide to go to the pop-up route before brick and mortar? Was it a function of COVID, or was it just always part of the business plan?
I feel like out of necessity. It's the honest answer is it's really hard to open a brick and mortar and to secure a lease, and so pop-ups were kind of a thing for us to do to kind of iron out our concept a little bit, and just get to know LA is a really weird city. It's a very unique and quirky city, and so I think to have our own and test out our own brand of hospitality through the pop-ups.
Yeah. And was it also a financial necessity to like raise capital for, or how did you raise capital for this place?
We made zero money.
Yeah, pop-ups are for sure. Like we broke even, and like, I mean,
it was
it's hard.
shoestring and bubble gum.
Yeah.
Like, we needed to figure out our capital necessities, like how much money we would need vaguely to get a place open, and we quickly found out we needed a second generation space.
Yeah.
We needed kind of a sweetheart deal where there was little to no key money involved, like upfront money. We needed obviously like just a favorable lease in terms of price per square foot you're paying for.
Yeah.
And COVID, for better, for worse, opened up a lot of opportunities for leases and commercial real estate to be exchanged like during that time. So to be honest, like we got a bank loan, a loan from
Amex line of credit.
Yeah, Amex line of credit.
Yeah.
Like it was just like piecemealing.
We got some
like,
in-kind money.
Yeah. It was from the skin of our teeth.
That's amazing though.
Open. Yeah.
It's cool. It's like you had a vision. You're like, we're gonna knock the door down here. We're gonna make it happen.
But I feel like that experience is really important because I think it makes you think through like everything about your restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what do you really need?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like stripping down to the essentials.
Yeah. And, you know, we definitely hustled on. I mean, a lot of it like we still have a coffee shop kitchen, but we were really fortunate. Like it was a coffee shop that already had a hood.
Yeah.
And a really good example of this is like our liquor license. Like we have a beer and wine liquor license.
Yeah.
Which is called Type 41. But we have a cocktail program.
Right.
It's enjoyed and loved by people, but like there's just no spirits in them.
Yeah.
There's no gin or there's no vodka, there's no whiskey, but like people like we still have a martini on our menu. We have a sake bomb on our menu that's really fun. We have the adorable animal mug drink. Like it doesn't matter that there's no spirit in that drink.
No, if anything, people I feel come here for the cocktails. Some people, I don't. I come here for the food because I eat a lot, and I happen to really like your guys' food. Sure. But a lot of people do just come here for the cocktails, which is I've heard that from a lot of people that come here. So pop-up era, really important for, I think getting maybe like developing your voice as a concept.
Absolutely. Yeah,
what's something
well
that
said.
you really took away from your pop-up days?
For me, it's just ironing out what kind of food you can execute like at volume.
Right.
Because we already knew this was going to be like a high volume restaurant. We're not seating like 30 covers a night.
Yeah.
We're trying to like get to the hundreds.
Yeah.
So it's really just ironing out like, okay, what are your kind of foundational dishes going to be, and can you iterate those like 40 to 50 times a night at speed with consistent execution. So that was valuable to me, just like figuring out the foundation of the menu and like kind of having multiple friends and families before you even have your friends and family in your restaurant on night one.
So what was the dish where you were like, we're going to lean into this one and we're going to 86 this one?
I mean, all the pop-up dishes ended up
they're all pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Shinjo, shout out Shinjo. Shinjo is.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's a good example though.
Yeah.
So we had one called Shinjo Katsu, which is like basically a shrimp and scallop like fritter.
Ooh. Actually, I think this rings a bell.
OG pop-up menu, and like maybe the first 3 weeks of our regular menu we had it.
Yeah.
But we realized like the prep involved in this is too high. The number of hands that need to touch this dish before it comes to life on like a menu.
Right.
It's just too much, and we can't make enough of it fast enough to produce for a restaurant. But for a pop-up, when it's like a one-time thing, we could.
Yeah.
So that's one that didn't make the main menu. But like most of the other ones did, I feel like. The negima is still on our menu. The pressed sushi is actually really conducive to like cranking out.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you had your heart set on Virgil Village as a location, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Dan.
Yeah, Dan, and I mean we did pop-ups at various places across the city, but our most common destination was Melody. And I feel like every time we were there, like it went really, really well. Like we could just kind of tell that it felt like the neighborhood was there and like wanted a neighborhood spot.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously this was at the time when Courage Bagels was launching off into outer space and, you know, like Squirrel's there, but there weren't any really dinner options.
Yeah.
And yeah, Dan grew up and lives in the house that his family grew up in off Temple and Robinson, like a 2-minute drive. Like he'll probably walk through the door shortly, but like a 2-minute drive from here.
Wow. And so you're just like, this feels right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've heard the stories of you just walking up and down Virgil looking for the right spot, hoping that something would pop up. When you found this place, did you immediately know that this was Budonoki, or did you kind of have to squint to see it?
We were caught up on a different spot up the street and for a long time, and while we were doing pop-ups, and that spot fell through, and I think like 3 days, and we were pretty bummed. And then 3 days
We were
after,
super bummed. We were like licking our wounds, and then literally a week later, this mutual friend we were working with, who's a broker, he like reached out to us and said like, hey, I know you just, you know, lost out on that one, but I got something like 1 block down the street.
Oh, nice.
That might be great for you guys. Come check it out. And we looked at it, and I think like the shell shock of like losing out on another space that we had our hearts pretty set on prevented us from really like jumping at this one too quickly. But I think at that point we were like a year and a half into doing pop-ups. We had been looking at leases for like probably another year and a half, and we were like, if it's not this, then what else, you know?
Yeah.
Well, let's just do this. Let's get it done.
How much work did the space need?
Okay, so the space was actually kind of perfect because it needed a lot of work, but not a lot of it only needed cosmetic work.
Okay,
like we said before, like we didn't have to put in a hood. There was no larger infrastructural, just a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of makeup. So this all there's like, you can kind of see concrete. Like this was all just one big concrete box.
Wow.
Like one big concrete box.
So it's kind of like a blank canvas for you to paint on in some ways.
It almost felt like a shell space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was furniture and fixtures here from the previous coffee shop, but none of it was really of any use to us. But like, it had good bones.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, good bones. That's all you can ask for sometimes.
Yeah.
And
I feel like what we learned, like we have the low ceilings, which like we kind of have the low ceilings, and it's the corner spot, and like when this place fills up and when that bar fills up, you really feel the energy of this place, which I think it like really helps. I don't know, like produce kind of this like very convivial atmosphere.
It does. It's like that because there's so many, because it's an angle and there's so many, like, it feels like the surfaces are so close, like the energy does bounce. You know what I mean? Like there's something to that. Like there really does.
Yeah.
Like you see around the corner, the restaurant feels a lot bigger than it is too, probably when you walk in, because you can't really see around the corner, so you don't know how far off it goes. So
you don't always know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
Like we tinted the windows.
Yeah.
Nice.
Especially when we first opened, people are like, "What is this place?" Like, it used to be this coffee shop. The windows are tinted, and you walk in, and like hopefully it's bumping.
Yeah.
You know, and like I think that's pretty impactful.
And it typically is bumping. That's why I always like to bring my out-of-town guests here. Now, speaking of bumping, the vibe here is very. It's always mentioned whenever you're reading about Budonoki. It's that 90s, 2000s R&B, this neon glow, warmth, the joyful chaos. Reminds me a lot of your supper club days. Is that intentional, or is this just who you are?
I think it's definitely a reflection of us as hospitality people and like diners and what we like. I think like I said before we even opened, we had it on like a 12-page Google document.
Yeah.
What did we want this restaurant to feel like?
Yeah.
When you walked in, from the moment you walked in to the moment you sat to the moment you left, like genuinely, like what feelings does this provoke? This space provoke, the service provoke, the food provoke, right? And I think we did a lot of engineering, like with the space, from cosmetically to the way the dishes eat. to the branding of like the menu and
Yeah.
kind of this like dichotomy of serious stuff and unserious stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the oishi sushi, it feels. Do you consider that serious or unserious?
It is actually like quite serious historically.
Right.
Originally, it was developed as like a method of preservation.
No
before
way.
Refrigeration. Yeah.
Huh. 'Cause I just bring that up because to me that's a fun part of the menu. Like
It is fun.
It's like in its own
of,
box.
Yeah.
Right on the menu, it's like it's in its own box. It almost
Yeah.
feels like a concept within a concept in a weird way. And I'm just like, ooh, I want some of that, you know.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
read the rest of the menu. So
It's something familiar but different, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think can be compelling.
yeah, it is absolutely. And so clearly the vibe is who you guys are. It's intentional, but it was really you guys. It seems being able to take what makes like what you guys love and like making it a business basically.
Yeah.
What about the hospitality touches, right? Like, you know, how did you infuse your Hillstone experience and your Alinea experience into the Budonoki verse?
I think that like a really good example is kind of what we touched on before. It's like you walk in the door and you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And I think that's always like a fun way to start things off, and maybe like kind of like it's like transportative for your guests
Yeah.
a little bit, where like there's a car wash right there, and like there's a bunch of like mechanical shops like right up there, right?
Right.
And like with tinted windows, and the door opens, and like immediately you step into the space, and like immediately you're transported,
Yes.
right? And I think that's very again, that's really, really powerful for just like kind of making people like be here and be present a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of Alinea.
Yeah.
Like the original
Sure.
Alinea, you like walk down this hallway and you hook a left, and it's just this very disarming experience.
The
Yeah.
doors look like they're in front of you, but you walk by them and they
Yeah.
automatically open.
It's
on
like
your left.
optical illusion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we wanted to like disarm people when they came in a little bit.
Yeah.
That was intentional.
And then in terms of like the Hillstone, I guess I feel like it's just like excruciating attention to detail.
Right.
But you know, like we have like I don't know, like hot food and cold drinks, but like all beers are served in frosted mugs. Martini glasses are chilled.
Not just that, they get swapped out.
They get swapped out.
This is the only place I've ever been to other than Hillstone where that happens.
Yeah.
And I think my wife was like, "Oh my God, they do this at Hillstone." And Eric's
I remember her saying that, literally, and it made me so happy that she noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Eric's
It's
like,
just sweating the small stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And then like the brand of hospitality is really just, I don't know, when you go to any Hillstone restaurant, like what would you consider your experience service-wise to be like? It's fast, it's very focused, and it's ultimately like very friendly.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 F's, right? And
Yeah.
we it's kind of corny, but like we use those here in our training to kind of to guide our guest experience.
I think good trainings are corny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like good trainings have to be corny
Yeah.
in order for people to remember
sure.
them. So
Yeah.
totally, no shame in that game. Food-wise, we've already touched on the nagima, the pressed sushi, but if there's one dish which is Budonoki through and through, is it the nem?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell me about it for people that haven't ever had it.
Nam is a fermented pork.
It's that guy's
That's-
mom's recipe.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Nam's a fermented pork sausage, Thai pork sausage. It's commonly found in a bunch of Southeast Asian cuisines, but this is Dan's mom's recipe.
Yeah.
It's something that Dan has alluded to in his upbringing as like a snack that he would enjoy after coming home from school. Like Nam would just be kind of like on the kitchen counter.
Yeah.
And the way kind of Dan made it his own and like into this like bar snack for the restaurant is serving it with these little balls of crispy rice that are seasoned with red curry and coconut, and this beautiful bright slaw of cabbage and herbs and
Yeah.
kind of a fish sauce vinaigrette, and you eat it together and it's just this like perfect harmony of salty and sour and textures and temperature contrasts.
Yeah.
And it just like the common denominator with like all our food here
Yeah.
is that it just begs for a cold beer like drink.
It does.
It's drinking
Smart.
food.
Smart. It's fucked up, actually.
And the Nam just like perfectly nails that.
Yeah.
for me.
It does.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite dishes in the city, actually. I really, really love that dish. Now, look, you've had really great critical response since you've been opened. I mean, the Bill Addison review was glowing. I reread it yesterday, and I was like, damn, I actually didn't remember, like, how amazing this review was. Yeah, I mean, he has his, like, usual paragraph where he says, oh, the pancake, whatever. But, like, ultimately, it was a glowing review. Eater named you best new restaurant. Resi calls you one of the toughest tables to get. But also, you know, you've been left off some lists as well. And I wonder, from your perspective, how much stock do you put into, like, critical reception? Is it something where you're like, fuck yeah when it happens and forget about it when it doesn't? Or does it inspire you like Michael Jordan, like, you know, and I took that personally?
This is a great question.
What's the politically correct answer?
This is not a politically correct podcast, so you're on the wrong podcast.
I feel like I feel like we've been open for 2 years, and so in our, like, short career, maybe our answers to this has changed a little bit. Like, of course it doesn't, you know, like, it doesn't feel great if you're not on a list.
Yeah.
And when you are included, I think it's a really good opportunity to obviously celebrate. Like, there's a lot of people that work really, really hard to make all of this happen. And so, like, you want to take that opportunity to celebrate. But also, like, lists aside, I think, like, what we take the most pride in is, like, genuinely being a neighborhood restaurant.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And, like, we're open 7 days a week. And, like, my favorite day of the week is, like, a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, where it's, like, not a busy night, and you walk in and it's, like, absolutely popping here on a Wednesday.
That's my favorite, yeah.
And you're like, what's going on right now? You know? And so I think, like, that doesn't, like, we really are a neighborhood spot, and we have an awesome neighborhood around us and a bunch of regulars. And, like, I think that, like, just focusing on that and winning them over is, like, what's gotten us here, and, like, what'll hopefully continue to get us to wherever we want to get for 10 more years or however long, you know?
Dude, I wish I could be a regular here. Unfortunately, in my what I do, I am out at, like, a different place every night. But if I could be a regular at any place in Los Angeles, I think it would be this.
We'd love to have you.
I will I come back. This is one of the restaurants I do get to on a repeated basis. We talked about critical reception. How about from a business standpoint? Obviously, you know, Josh, you're a business guy. 2025 has been a really tough year for restaurants across the board.
Yeah.
How has Budonoki fared? And from your mindset, what does success look like for, like, the next year, the next 5?
Yeah. It has been a really hard year. I mean, we were obviously started off in January, kind of like nightmare situation. And, like, we were closed for a few days, and, like, because you just don't really know what's happening. And I remember our first service being open. I think we closed for, 3 or 4, I can't remember exactly, but we closed for a handful of days for the fires, and then, like, we reopened, and, like, you never really know if that's the right decision or not, but we made it. And, like, I feel like when guests actually came in and were like, you're actually able to, like, take care of people, and it, like, that's when you're like, okay, this is the right decision. Like, it, like, feels right. But it's really hard, and, like, I don't know. I go back to, like, I think we found a really great neighborhood to be the neighborhood restaurant.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I think to speak on Josh's earlier point, it's like being here on a Monday, Tuesday, and seeing 50% of the people as people who come here all the time, industry friends, like, that to me is when I feel the most kind of full, right?
Yes.
And, like, accomplished, and it feels like we're doing something right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we struggle with the same things everyone else is struggling with right now too. Like, you know, a lot of our costs have gone up, and we can't necessarily pass those costs on to our guests. We have to eat some of them and then figure out creative solutions to alleviate some of the other ones.
Yeah.
It certainly helps kind of like put a bow on it to just, like, have a very supportive neighborhood and group of regulars that, like, show up once a week, sometimes multiple times a week, and, like, that's what keeps the lights on.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like it's not being on a list, or that stuff helps, and it helps get people in the door to like see what we're about. But it's really, like, the neighborhood that we you know having.
And I feel like the other side of that is like we also have an awesome team that has helped us open it, and especially in front of house, like so many of our core group of people have been here from the start.
Yeah.
You know, and I think like they came in and interviewed us before the makeup was on, and like they saw this coffee shop and just two like guys who are like really excited, like it's gonna be so great, guys, like we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and like you know what, like 15, 20 of them signed up to like help us do this crazy thing.
Yeah.
And it's such
and
like that is
through.
you know what I mean, like that is success that we still have so many of them on our team.
That's huge.
So I think like to your to your question, it's like part of success, it's like kind of like striking this balance. You find equilibrium, and like equilibrium is between the guest and their experience, your team and like the jobs you're able to provide, and then like your business, and hopefully it can sustain itself. And so I feel like you kind of have to find a harmony between all of those things for like the equation to like kind of work for everyone.
Yeah.
And like that's the tricky balance of success in this like very crazy game.
That was so business oriented, but also so poetic. I feel like I really, really dug that answer. I think that's going to be a clip that for social media, or as a Bill Simmons fan, Kyle turned the camera on.
Yeah, cut that.
Hey guys, seriously, this has been a pleasure of a conversation. I've learned so much, honestly. Like I did some research, but like you guys have really like let me in on so much. So thank you for that. Last question we ask all our guests: we're going to go with 2 today. What are 2 Los Angeles restaurants you love right now? 2 each, okay? We started with Josh last time.
It's the hardest question of the day.
We started with Josh first, so Eric, you're on the hot seat first.
Oh boy, right now, the most recent restaurant that I went to that I actually had a really nice experience was Wilds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, up on Hillhurst.
I like that spot.
You know, and I am someone who usually likes to give restaurants maybe 3 to 6 months before new restaurants.
Yeah.
Before I go to them and kind of form an opinion. I was really excited to go to this one for whatever reason. I think it's just like the novelty of like having British food and British pub food be the inspiration for the menu.
Yeah.
But I thought they just really did a good job. Like the service for a restaurant that's been open a couple weeks was like super dialed in, pacing. I thought they did a really good job with the space and making it kind of intimate and sexy and
sexy pub is the vibe.
Yeah, and the food was good.
Yeah.
Honestly, nice job, guys. I don't know them, but whoever's running that place, like, good job. Keep going, you know.
What about number 2?
Number 2 is my friends are going to be upset for me gatekeeping this one, or for not gatekeeping this one, but Sushi Yuzu in Valley Village.
Wow, I'd never even heard of that place.
Yeah, it's on Riverside Drive.
Wow.
It's like a neighborhood sushi spot.
Wow.
And they're awesome. Like that's my go-to. I go there like a couple times a month.
Hope you enjoy never going there again now that you've blown it up. So yeah.
They don't need the help.
Yeah.
They're cranking every night of the week.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Great shouts, Eric. Josh, how about you?
I'm gonna give Echo Park a little bit of love here. For first one would be Ati.
Oh yeah.
It's like kind of opened in a pop-up space. It feels really good when you walk in, and I feel like food there is just excellent.
Yeah.
Like, it's really excellent. It's really fun. Like a lot of good options for tacos in LA. They do more than just tacos, but I don't know. I love that spot. And then also just right across the street is El Compadre.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love El Compadre.
I love, those are the perfect two to shout out.
Yeah. Like, you know, you can get a little bit of both.
Yeah. Great shouts. Great conversation, guys. Thank you so much for joining, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And fight on, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the LA Food Podcast. Thanks to our guests, Eric Bedruzian and Josh Hartley of Budonoki. Make sure to go visit them this holiday season or early in the new year. You will not regret it. Get that pork sausage. I'm serious. It's going to change your life. We'll be back next week with another epic episode. I think Father Saul will be back with us. We'll be talking about our New Year's resolutions with respect to food, maybe even with respect to our personal lives, honestly. And I think we might even have an interview for you. If not, we have some sick interviews coming up with some very, very special guests that we're very excited about. Thanks again for just an incredible year, dear listener. It really means the world to us that you listen. Please consider leaving us a rating or review. That stuff really also means the world to us. And if you're looking for us before we're back for our next episode next week, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, YouTube at the LA Countdown. You can also find us on Instagram at It's Acquired Taste or at acquiredtastemedia.com.